What is going on, guys, and welcome to the final third. This is going to be episode one of a new podcast I decided to take on just to talk about the biggest soccer news, anything around the world of soccer, and whatever stories I find interesting. Just talk about with you guys and see how you guys feel about it, relate to it, not. Start a conversation in the chats. So the first story I'd like to talk about is the Liverpool crisis between Mo Salah. So I'm not sure how many of you guys have been watching the EPL, but Arsenal's legend Mohamed Salah has been benched for the past 3-4 matches now. It's pretty insane, the whole story. Um, it seems like him and the new manager at Arsenal are just not getting along and is threatening his career at Arsenal, which is kind of insane to me considering I am a Chelsea fan, but Mohamed Salah is guaranteed going to be among one of the best players of all time to play in the EPL. Um, I'll give you guys some statistics to kind of back up the story so you guys kind of get a better understanding of the news and what's going on. So, he's a legend. Like, he's going to be a Liverpool legend, if not is already one. He is Liverpool's third highest all-time goal scorer with over 250 goals and 420 appearances, which is absolutely insane. Um, and speaking of that, even like last season, he recorded a record equaling 47 goals, 47 goal contributions, like 29 goals and 18 assists in 1 year, literally less than a year ago, like leading them to win the EPL to now being on the bench, maybe let's say 6-7 months later. It's heartbreaking. Like, makes no sense. Um, yeah, like it just by reading more of the stats. So in this season alone, he's managed just four goals and 13 appearances compared to last year, which he only had 29. Like, it might be just one rough year, but the manager isn't even giving him a chance to properly, perform, which is completely unfortunate. But with his age, like, this sparks conversation of when do you when do you know that it's time to retire or go down a level? You know what I mean? Like, so many of the greats are now moving to the MLS or Saudi because they don't want their career or the history that they have at certain clubs to kind of diminish, right? And you see it every year now. Like, look at Inter Miami, for example. Like, absolute beast of a team full of legends who just won the first MLS Cup. Not the first, but they've won the MLS Cup this year. Um, this story is sparking the future of what is going to happen to him in Arsenal, and honestly, I don't think he's going to be there much longer. Um, Even for the Africa Cup of Nations on December 15th, he's not going to be in the EPL for at least 6 key matches. Um, if you wanted to stay in the EPL with Arsenal, being gone for 6 crucial matches when they could give him a chance if they really thought they needed him, it's going to be tough. And I hope for the best of his career. Um, but what it looks like statistically is that he's most likely in the January window going to be going to Saudi Arabia, which can't complain. Like, it's a good league, a lot of good players, and it'll allow him to keep flourishing as an athlete until he feels like it's time to retire. Um, Other news in the Premier League. Speaking of Arsenal, they lost 2-1 to Aston Villa this past week, which was, it's unfortunate. Like, this was Arsenal's first loss in over 22 matches in all competitions. Um, a run that dated back to August. So Aston Villa, I'm not sure if you watched the game, but Aston Villa got the game-winning goal literally 94 minutes in. So that's into the stoppage time. Like, it's absolutely heartbreaking to lose the game that late in. Like, for me who used to play as well, like, it's really tough, especially when it's your first loss over 22 matches. You know what? And speaking of that, like, Aston Villa is like under the new manager, like, they're they're a dangerous team. Like, they're a team that I could see make a run for the Champions League in the next 2-3 years maybe. Um, that was their ninth win in, yeah, like in their last 10 matches. And they seem to be a team that cannot lose at home. Um, it's dangerous. Like, yeah, and despite that loss, like, Arsenal only had 9 shots on target, which is nothing in soccer. It's absolutely nothing. Um, in other news and related to the EPL as well, Man United took a 4-1 win over the Wolves. Not a surprise. Like, top teams usually always beat the lower end guys. It's just the way it is. Better team, better players. It shows. This was the Wolves' 8th loss in a row. And it sucks to see the Wolves that low down the table. Like, I do like the Wolves. I think they are a really nice team. They just can't seem to hold on and stay in the league long enough for me to enjoy watching them play, and it's just really unfortunate. The big news related to Man United and the Wolves is the protests. Like, within the first 15 minutes of the match, the fans were boycotting the whole match, the ownership, everything. Like, they want new management, and I do believe it's time for the Wolves to look into that and make some changes, because they can't be going up and down every 1-2 years. They have the potential. They have a good team. They could be a mid-level team. They don't have the management to help back that, and it's really tough to watch. Now we're going to bounce away from the men into the women. So the Women's Super League. It's the end of an era. Chelsea has finally lost their first match in 34 games in the WSL. It's historic. Like, they haven't lost a league fixture in over 585 days. That dates back to May of 2024. They lost to Everton. And what makes it even crazier to me is the fact that literally Chelsea had 30 shots on goal, 18 corners, and Everton only had 4 shots on goal and 0 corners, and somehow managed to pull the upset of a lifetime. On top of that, Chelsea hit the woodwork at least twice. Hit the post once, hit the crossbar at some point. The ball just didn't want to go in the net. It's just one of those unfortunate games of just heartbreak. It happens. But to lose 1-0 and let a 585 game streak come to an end, there's no other way I would have wanted it to go down but the way that game happened. Like, that game, so fun to watch. Let's talk about La Liga real quickly, and then the MLS for this week's episode. So, Real Madrid. They lost at home to Celta Vigo in La Liga today, and that match, if you didn't watch it, was just crazy. Like, nothing but fights, upsets, pain, red cards everywhere. And on top of that, Celta Vigo, that was the first league victory at the Bernabeu Stadium in over 19 years. Like, they haven't won a game at the Santiago Bernabeu since November of 2006. Like, this week has just been full of historical events. And that was their second clean sheet of the whole season. Like, Celta Vigo haven't done much this year, but that game was like as if we were watching a UFC match on the soccer field. For me, being also a lacrosse fan, extremely entertaining. A lot of fighting, a lot of action. But for the average Joe watching it that likes to watch only soccer, for some, it wasn't much tactical advantage in that. It was just fight after fight after fight. Real Madrid got literally 2 red cards. The game ended with 9 players in the second half. Defenders Fran Garcia and Alvaro Carreras both got the red cards. Garcia picked up two quick yellow cards in the 64th minute and 65th minute, while Carreras was sent off in stoppage time for melting off to a referee. You don't see that too much these days. You know, the referees take a lot of abuse, but it was well deserved. Um, that was literally they've literally won only 2 wins in the last 7 matches. It's very, very upsetting. Um, yeah, like the last thing I'd like to see in the news is congratulations Inter Miami for winning the MLS Cup. Um, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Inter Miami. I've never been a fan of Inter Miami. I don't believe in spending all your billions of dollars on players to win a league. Um, Especially me being a Canadian. But honestly, Messi is just on another wavelength. Like he's too good for the MLS. I've said this at the beginning, and to bring like the legendary Barcelona team over with him, it just wasn't fair. It was a great match. If you didn't watch it, it was extremely intense, back and forth till the end. Yeah, congratulations, Inter Miami. Like, you guys deserved it. Hope you guys enjoyed the news. This was the first episode. I promise you it'll get better from here. I gotta get through a little bit of jitters and all that to kind of get more comfortable doing this. But yeah, see you guys next Tuesday. Hope you guys enjoyed my weekly dose of soccer, and I'll see you guys soon. See you guys.